Close to 1.4 million Canadians missed a credit payment in the last 3 months. This is coming from Equifax, which does credit reports. Let's get some insight with Rebecca Oakes, Vice President of Advanced Analytics at Equifax Canada. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So 1.4, that's actually down from the first quarter of the year, but still seems like a high number, is it?
Yeah, it definitely is. We've been seeing those missed payment levels really rising since around mid-2021, and that's really when we started to see interest rates and some of the impacts of high inflation and cost of living really taking hold. So as you mentioned, the good news is it's kind of flattened off a little bit in the last quarter. But when we start to dig into some of the other numbers sitting underneath that overall measure, we are still seeing some areas of concern.
So what falls under credit payment beyond credit cards?
So when we look at kind of credit payments in terms of what's happening there, so we look at our numbers to the end of Q2, and we're looking at credit cards, we're looking at loans, we're looking at mortgage behaviors. And when we start to see some of those missed payments in particular, we're still seeing very high levels on credit cards, particularly for younger consumers. And when we start to break it down even more in terms of areas like the mortgage side of things, that's where we see in Ontario, those mortgage missed payment levels are still quite high.
Okay, so let's dig into that a little bit more, because you mentioned younger contingent. What sort of age group would that be? Are they missing more than one payment often? Are you noticing trends with younger people?
Yeah, so when we look at younger consumers in particular, we're really talking around those under 36 years of age. And when we look at some of the numbers, those delinquency levels or those missed payment levels, they've risen around 20% year on year. So that's compared to 12 months ago. That is obviously higher than the rest of the national average that we're seeing there, and that's one of the reasons why we are particularly concerned. And if we dig a little bit deeper and look at some of the other drivers of financial stress in particular, so things like the payment behavior on credit cards and looking at how much they pay down as a percentage each month, that cohort, those younger consumers, we're seeing those pay rate levels really falling at the fastest rates. So that's kind of why we believe that those individuals, that kind of group, those younger consumers are really feeling the financial stress still right now.
You mentioned Ontario. Can you do a bit more of a regional breakdown for me?
Yeah, sure. So Ontario, when we look at Ontario in particular, we know there was a very hot housing market, particularly during the pandemic. The same really goes for British Columbia as well. So those higher interest rates, they've had more of an impact for those provinces, for those consumers who have a mortgage. So as they're coming up for renewal, we are seeing missed payments starting to rise, not only on the mortgage itself, but also in terms of things like the non-mortgage debt, the credit cards, those sorts of things. The other area where we do see a little bit more movement is really in Alberta. Now, Alberta missed payment levels are starting to rise. And in that province in particular, we've seen a lot of interprovincial migration. So there are individuals leaving the areas like Ontario and British Columbia because we have such high cost of livings there and moving to Alberta. And they're kind of bringing with them perhaps some of the financial stress that they've accumulated in those other provinces. And that's one of the reasons why we're starting to see Alberta seeing a bit of a rise in missed payments as well.
Interesting. So, Rebecca, you mentioned interest rates. Is that sort of the biggest reason people perhaps are missing payments? Or are there other reasons factoring in?
It's certainly one of them. Unemployment is really the other shock factor, as we call it in the credit industry. So again, when we look at those younger consumers in particular, we know from some of the reports from Statistics Canada that actually unemployment levels are still rising for those kind of younger age ranges. Now, of course, if you don't have employment, that's going to have a direct impact on your ability to keep making payments on your credit commitments. So unemployment is the other one that we do track quite closely.
What do you see for consumer debt levels? Can you break down either individual debt levels or a total and tell me if that's rising?
Yeah, so when we look at overall kind of consumer debt, it is up year on year. It's up around 3.5%. Now, where that's kind of coming from is really a bit of a growth in terms of auto loans in particular and some additional balances on credit cards. Now, on the auto side of things, we know in Q1, there actually was a little bit of pent-up demand, a little bit of concern around what might happen in the auto industry with some of the trade conditions that we had in Q1. And therefore, a lot of people were actually purchasing vehicles, maybe in advance of perhaps some price rising. And we are starting to see prices rising a little bit on the auto industry side as well. So that's really contributed to a little bit of an increase in terms of what we look at, which is our average non-mortgage debt per consumer, and that's sitting at just over $22,140 right now. So it is going up. One thing we have seen, though, is consumer spend on credit card. That is pulling down a little bit. That's coming down compared to 12 months ago. And in particular, that's consumers, homeowners are actually spending less on their credit cards right now, whereas non-homeowners, we're still seeing a little bit of increase in terms of credit card usage.
Interesting. All right, Rebecca Oakes, I've got to leave it there. Rebecca is with Equifax Canada with new numbers on missed credit payments. Thanks for that.